Neymar was supposed to be the next king of football, not just another superstar, not just another Brazilian talent. He was supposed to be the one, the player to carry Brazil after Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, and Kaká, the one to challenge Messi and Ronaldo, the one to win the Ballon d'Or and bring joy back to football. For many fans, Neymar wasn't just a player. They saw him as the future of the game itself. But today, Neymar's story feels different because people don't just talk about his trophies. They talk about injuries, they talk about wasted potential and the move to PSG, pressure, and what could have been. And that's what makes his story so fascinating because Neymar didn't fail. He won the Champions League. He became Brazil's all-time top goal scorer. He dominated in multiple leagues. He became the most expensive player in football history. And he gave football some of its most unforgettable moments. But somehow people still ask, did Neymar become what he was meant to be? Or is he just football's greatest what if? Before Europe, Neymar was a phenomenon at Santos. He didn't just play football, he expressed it. He played with freedom, with flair and joy. His game came from the streets, futsal, creativity, imagination. Every touch felt unpredictable. Every dribble felt personal. At Santos, he wasn't just talented, he became a symbol. Brazil was waiting for its next hero, and Neymar arrived at the perfect time. But that came with pressure. He was expected to entertain like Ronaldinho, score like Ronaldo, and live up to Pele. That's impossible for anyone, yet Neymar made it look so easy. He scored incredible goals, he embarrassed defenders, he played with confidence that made fans believe again. Then came the Copa Libertadores. For Santos, it wasn't just a trophy, it was history, and Neymar delivered it. He led the team to glory, proving he wasn't just hype, he could win. But even then, there was a warning. The same flair that made fans love him would later bring criticism. What was once called magic would later be called showboating. What was once joy would later be seen as arrogance. That contradiction would follow Neymar for the rest of his career. Soon, Neymar had to prove himself in Europe because Santos made him a star, but Europe would decide if he was truly great. In 2013, Neymar joined Barcelona. The perfect move, the biggest stage, best players, the highest expectations, but Barcelona already had a king, Leo Messi. At first, Neymar adapted. He learned, he connected and grew. He didn't try to take over, he understood his role. Then came Luis Suarez. Together, they formed MSN, one of the greatest attacking trios ever. Messi, the genius, Suarez, the finisher, Neymar, the artist. They didn't just win, they dominated. In 2015, Barcelona won the treble. Neymar scored in the Champions League final. He had arrived. He was no longer just potential, he was elite. But there was still a problem. No matter how good Neymar was, it was always Messi's team. Messi had the headlines, had the face, had the story, and Neymar, despite his brilliance, was still second. Then came the 6-1 comeback against PSG, one of the greatest nights in football history. Barcelona had lost 4-0 in the first leg. Almost everyone thought it was over. But Neymar led the miracle, a free kick, a penalty, and an assist. He was the driving force behind the comeback, but the iconic image, Messi standing on the advertising board celebrating with the fans. That moment said everything. Neymar was decisive, but Messi owned the story. And maybe that's why Neymar realized something. If he stayed, he could win more trophies, more titles, more success. But he would never be number one. Would he truly own his legacy? That question changed everything. In 2017, Neymar made history. PSG paid 222 million euros, the biggest transfer ever. It wasn't just a transfer, it was a statement. He left Barcelona to become the main man. No more Messi, no more shadow, no more waiting. In Paris, Neymar would lead. And when he played, he was still incredible. The skills were there, the creativity was still there, the brilliance was still there. But everything became complicated. Injuries kept stopping him at the worst moments. Just when he built momentum, he was sidelined again. Just when PSG needed him the most, he wasn't there. We never truly got the full, uninterrupted Neymar. And that matters more than people realize. Because greatness isn't just about talent, it was about consistency, and Neymar's rhythm was constantly broken. At the same time, the criticism grew, and people questioned his focus, his lifestyle, his commitment. They didn't judge his performances, they judged his choices. Then came the Champions League. The trophy PSG wanted more than anything. In 2020, Neymar helped PSG reach the Champions League final. That was his moment, his chance to prove the move was worth it. But they lost, once again, almost. Almost led PSG to victory, almost justified the transfer, almost became the undisputed number one. Then Mbappe rose, young, explosive, French, the future. And Neymar once again had to share the spotlight. He left Messi's shadow, only to find another one. And suddenly, the question became louder. Did Neymar make the wrong decision? For Brazil, Neymar was more than just a player. He was hope. In 2014, Brazil hosted the World Cup. This was supposed to be his moment. For a while, he delivered. He scored, he created, he carried the team. Then came the injury against Colombia, back injury in the quarterfinal. A single moment changed everything. His tournament ended. Without him, Brazil collapsed. In the semifinal, 7-1 against Germany. One of the most painful nights in football history, and even though Neymar wasn't on the pitch, the question remained, what if Neymar had played? That question follows his entire career. What if he stayed at Barcelona? What if injuries didn't stop him? What if PSG won the Champions League? What if his body allowed him to stay at his peak longer? But Neymar also gave Brazil something special. In 2016, he led Brazil to Olympic gold. Against Germany on penalties, he scored the winner. He fell to the ground in tears. That moment wasn't just a victory, it was redemption. Later, he became Brazil's all-time top scorer. That alone is historic. He surpassed legends, he wrote his name into history. But still, the criticism never fully stopped. Because Neymar wasn't judged like a normal player. He was judged against expectations, and those expectations were enormous. People didn't just want Neymar to be great, they wanted him to be perfect. So, is Neymar football's greatest what if? Maybe, but that doesn't mean he failed. He's a Champions League winner, a national icon, one of the most talented players of his generation. A player who changed the game with his style and personality. But his story is complicated. That's why it stays with us, because Neymar didn't just play football. He made it feel alive. He made people watch, he made people dream. He made football fun. And maybe that's his real legacy. Not perfection, but magic. So maybe the real question isn't, did Neymar waste his talent? Maybe it is, did we expect so much that even greatness felt like disappointment? If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss the next story. And let me know in the comments, how will you remember Neymar? As a legend or as football's greatest what if?